feature review. I'm John, the host, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Jason Alt.
Hey, glad to be back.
Tonight, Jason and I are talking about a brand new thriller film directed by Walker Whited, By Night's End.
4 years, and sometimes I feel like you don't even know who I am.
Oh, I mean, you trust your husband or you don't.
I'm just gonna look around. What? Please stop yelling. Please, I gotta figure out. I'll pay you $10,000 if you let me go.
Let me see your hands.
I gotta look around.
See your hands.
Please let me get it out.
What did you do?
There's money in our house. I want to find it.
Now let's protect our future. You did what you had to do.
1 hour. Mark, have you lost your mind?
I'm putting him on the tile.
You're moving a body. Just call the cops. I can't.
2 hours ago, it was self-defense. Now it's murder. Hello, friend.
You come in this house, I swear I will letting you.
You have what is mine, and I want it.
I pulled the trigger, we all go to jail. Problem solved.
I don't think you would.
Jason, we were fortunate enough to be given an opportunity to talk about this film, and this was pretty damn good. I think that you might have liked it a little bit more than me. However, but I don't know. Like, we haven't talked about it beforehand. But why don't you start us off, sir? What is By Night's End about?
So By Night's End focuses on a couple who are experiencing a lot of financial insecurity and are dealing with the strain on their marriage caused by their only child dying in an accident. So that sort of sets the scene for them to be tempted when a stranger shows up at their house and kind of sneaks into their house at night. And it's not clear what he's doing in their house. It looks like he's going for a gun, and the wife ends up killing him. Well, it turns out that there was something he was trying to hide in their house and retrieve later, and some people came looking for it. And they end up embroiled in a sort of a standoff situation. Greed gets in the way. You know, everybody's sort of greedy. There's people trying to get something back from them, and they don't know what it is or where it is. They sort of are tested, you know, as people and as a couple. And by Night's End, there's going to be a resolution, whether it's they both end up dead and the people get what they want, or maybe they survive the standoff.
I think that every time that the film unraveled something, or it's just like expected the audience to be like, okay, are you along for the ride? I was just like, oh, this is really kind of pushing it. But then it all made sense. Like, the wife is I think, like an ex-Navy SEAL or something like that.
She was EOD, which is the bomb squad, basically. But
right.
She still get, I think, Marine Corps training.
Yeah, and just the situation itself, like, this film came out in the perfect year to come out, because, like, a couple losing, like, one of them loses their income and they're like financially desperate, with putting loss of a loved one on top of that is not only like super relatable, but it's totally believable. So at first I'm like, wow, the turn is, I felt like it was like a little unearned, but once you keep watching the film and let it like kind of breathe a little bit, you're just like, oh, okay, I totally get where even, you know, Mark is coming from, or the husband, or, you know, everyone has these motives that make a lot more sense. And I think that's just like amplified because of what's going on this year. So, I mean, if I were to, you know, skip to the end of the review and say, would I recommend this film? If you're going to see this film, watch it in 2020, because I think it's just so much more enjoyable that way.
I think what you think I like this movie more than you did, perhaps. I think this is very impressive for a first feature.
Mm-hmm.
So none of these people are traditional actors per se. I think you said almost the entire cast are stunt people. So this is people that like live in Atlanta and work in the film industry in Atlanta, where like, you know, for tax reasons, Georgia is very favorable. So a lot of places are filming a lot of stuff in Atlanta. Like I know like it's Cartoon Network, right?
Mm-hmm.
That does all the William Street stuff for Adult Swim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead.
That's in Atlanta. Like you know, the studio that makes Archer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you watch a show at the end, it says Georgia. You know, like for tax reasons, a lot of stuff gets done there. So a lot of these people in this film are like acting as actors for the first time. These are people that are like that are well versed in the film industry. So the stunts are fantastic in this movie, but like they can act competently just because they've been in front of a camera a lot. None of this, the people in this film are people you'll recognize, but they seem so comfortable making a movie that you're sort of like, wow, like are these people like stage actors? It's like, nope, these are people in the film industry that just said, you know, it's cool that we have stunt careers, but we would really like to have a more prominent role. And somebody who assembled a cast like this and very competently shot what is a pretty good story that he co-wrote. So this story, the story writing credit was actually not Walker Whited. It was someone he's collaborating with named Sean McCain. Now, Sean McCain does professional sound editing. All of his credits, this is his one writing credit. All of his other credits are for the sound editing department. So it was probably him who did the sound mixing on this movie. And he actually, his first editing credit is the upcoming Walker Whited movie, Fire Amends. So it seemed like these two guys are kind of, you know, getting into it together. So I'd be real interested to, if they thought this was a fruitful collaboration and decided to run it back, like, I don't know. If you hated the sound mixing in this, don't worry, he's doing the film editing, I guess, right? Like, so, you know, anytime you find somebody you vibe with and you want to work together again, I think you are better for it if you know, find someone's on the same wavelength as you. So these two are going to collaborate again in a film that's coming out soon, and good for Sean McCain going outside his comfort zone. The guy typically does sound mixing, and he, you know, this was his first time writing a screenplay, so that's cool too. I really like that everyone had done something else in film before, but they're trying something new. Mm-hmm. And like they all got to experiment on the same project. I really like that.
And it feels cohesive with even experimentation. And, you know, who knows? For every 100 backyard filmmakers, there's a Jeremy Saulnier and Macon Blair out there. And maybe this is the start of that. Like, I could see that, like, this has enough good structure and bones to it where I could be like, yeah, this was their murder party. And maybe next we'll get Blue Ruin. And I'm super excited for that possibility.
I was really impressed for a first effort. As much as I don't love the whole people shooting each other genre as much as I used to, mm-hmm. I still do think that as far as first efforts go, this was way up there, just because they're not first timers in front of the camera, even if they're acting for the first time. So I think he set himself up for success in a lot of ways.
These are actors that have not only just been stunt actors, but they've been working in huge films or huge projects. Like Michael Aaron Milligan, he was in The Purge, he was in Ozark and 3 Billboards. The lead role, Michelle Rose, she was in like she was doing stunt work for Avengers, War of the Planet of the Apes or whatever. So it's not just like they were in things and they've been around for a while. They were in huge productions and they've been around, kind of the best in the industry. You never know when your break is, and it's great to see that this filmmaker had whatever connections, you know, to these people or access to these people to actually be like, I've seen you doing this work, and now we're gonna, actually let you take the helm. And it's shot just really well. I mean, I got major Fincher, like you could tell he is super influenced by David Fincher. I got major Panic Room vibes from this.
I was just gonna say Panic Room, yeah.
Totally. and the good and the bad from Panic Room, if I'm gonna be honest. You have the villainous character, which I think he was basically like a canister of face paint and a hand buzzer away from being doing like a Joker bit. But at least he was into it. Like he still gave it his all. She was great. She really feels like Michelle Rose. I feel like we should be seeing her in other stuff. She got the hard part down, right? She has the stunt work and everything. But
I personally think so. So like when she didn't suck in front of the camera, you're like, whoa, cool, good for her. Like she won like a SAG award. Like her and 125 other people all shared a SAG award for like best stunt ensemble for an Avengers movie. So I thought that was cool. But like, awesome. Whenever someone's like so comfortable in the film industry that you like point a camera at them and then like they can roll with it, that's cool. Just let you know that maybe it's not that tough a job after all. I think being a stunt person is way harder than being an actor. But hey, what do I know? Hey. Michelle Rose has done both, and she was capable, but like when it came to the fight choreography, yeah, it takes the movie a long time to get to like where people are beating the shit out of each other. But when you do get to that, you're like, oh, all right, they are really going for it, and they're doing a great job, and they all got to do their own stunts, which means you have to do fewer quick cuts. Right. I think when people don't want to do their own stunts in a scene where they're getting the shit beat out of each other, you got to do a lot of quick cuts, but since they're all stunt people, they all could do longer shots. And I think that this movie was shot well.
They, like you said, they kept it in camera, like the action. It wasn't a Bourne movie where it was like super shaky cam. There was hand cam used in this, but to pretty good effect. But they were competent. Like there's a hallway scene where one character is fighting another, and it winds up in a bathroom. And it's real good. Like you have like house damage going on. Like this, like you think about some people's like first features.
This dude kicks a woman through some drywall, and like I was like, oh yeah, drywall would probably do that.
Right. And in every other film, it would just be like, I don't know, some weird little blood spot or something. Like you could tell the filmmaker has a lot of experience. Like he's done other action shorts.
Sure, yeah.
You could definitely tell that he has this kind of thing nailed down.
But we talk about Walker White a little bit because, he's been doing some production. He acted a little bit himself, but like he has directed. He's got 10 directing credits, and like all of them are shorts. And then he did a TV miniseries called Curves and one called Weird Ending. And he's got something coming up called Fire Amends, about a man who finds a phone that's got pictures of a missing woman, and so he takes the law in his own hands. So I'll probably watch that when it comes out. Like I was fairly charmed by this movie. Again, as much as I'm not liking the John Wick stuff these days, you know, for whatever reason, just like it's not as cool to me. Like when I was like, oh, Equilibrium's the shit. I'm sort of kind of, now that there's a school shooting every week, right. Well, not in 2020, but it's just sort of like, oh, this is a movie where people shoot each other. I don't know. As much as I'm sort of over that, I don't think there wasn't a ton of that in this movie. There was a lot more tension, and I think the tension was better than the action. So I think there was a good mix here. So I'm interested to see what he does next.
Yeah, I want to focus a little bit more on just his decisions of just shot progression and whatnot, because the mix of, like I said, he had a good mix of handheld camera work with dolly tracking shots. There's this one scene where the couple's outside, and then you have this real slow dolly tracking shot, and it kind of goes through the wall. And they might have added like a little CG there, because I don't think
it was a little awkward. And I was like, if he had some more money, that would have looked better. It wasn't seamless, but it was cool. He went for it.
Went for it, exactly.
He went for it.
They
Like,
did.
the camera panned, and it seemed to like phase through the wall, and then you caught the couple as they were walking in through the door. Yeah, that was. I remembered that shot too. That was pretty cool.
I like that shot. There was a lot of blur effects used, and sometimes I'm like, you're using a lot of in-camera blur effects for budgetary reasons, and usually that's kind of grating on me. But I think that it was super effective in this because it kind of showed you, the audience, what you need to be focusing on, because the film is so goddamn dark lit. Like, it's all at night, and the audacity that this, younger filmmaker or whatever would attempt this and get it right, because the lighting is better than a lot of like mainstream films that I've seen. Shooting at night is tough. Like, it is really hard, and it is 100% at night, and when you're inside, it's like a dimmer is on, but you still, I was never like, oh god, I can't see, like someone just flip on a light switch. I was just like, wow, it's effective enough with the mood that he was going for with the lighting, and shooting in the rain and doing all this stuff. Like, that was super impressive. Probably my favorite scene of this was, you have a character outside of the house, and you have invaders or whatever inside the house, and this person, you're kind of following this person through the progression, and it's like a complete 360 tracking shot of the house, and so you pan down and you see what's going on outside of this person hiding, and then you go back and it shows what's going on in different, you're in and out of rooms, but you're looking at it from the outside vantage point of a window, and you have different actors coming in and out doing different things. That was more expertly handled than a lot of other filmmakers that we've talked about on Film Hooligans, big name filmmakers. I was super impressed by that.
Now this comes to the part of the show where it's like, do we thumbs up, thumbs down? Do we recommend this? This is a movie you can rent on Prime for $2. So that's, it's Blockbuster money. Remember that? Remember Blockbuster? It was like $3.79 to rent a DVD at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So for half of the cost of driving to a location, picking up a physical disc, waiting in a line for half the price of that, you can just say, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on this because those Film Hooligan guys, they've never steered me wrong before.
Nope.
And I think you're not going to be like, I want $2 back. You're not going to say, I want an hour and 25 minutes back. I think you're going to be like, you know what? That was very entertaining. It didn't progress exactly how I thought it was going to.
Right.
And in terms of someone making their first feature and giving people who work in the film industry as unsung heroes the chance to be a named person on a poster, I think that's huge. These are people who work in the film industry, but they kind of feel like they're periphery characters, and they're just like, you know what, let's just do a thing. I love it when people bootstrap it like that. I love it when people just go for it and do their own thing. And you know what? For $2, there's I do not hesitate at all to tell people that they should rent this for sure.
I totally agree. I'm not going to say it's perfect. I'm going to say it's not the best written film. It's not the best,
Dude, Panic Room wasn't perfect.
No, 100%. And I would argue that I would probably watch this again before I'd watch Panic Room again if it weren't for those, sweet cornrows from Jared Leto. Some of the acting's a little uneven. If I'm just getting nitpicky, the score is great, and I think the score is probably the best part of the film, but at times it's a little loud. There's a scene where the score is so loud, and I'm trying to listen to what the actors are trying to say, and I just can't make it out. But that's like I said, if I'm gonna be nitpicky, because I don't want people to okay, well you guys said it was a perfect film and I went in and blah blah blah. Don't be a dick. It is pretty good. It is a very,
this wasn't a Hollywood movie, but
right. Yeah,
I think you're gonna be like, oh shit, this wasn't a Hollywood movie. That's kind of what I think. I kind of think you will be impressed that if you look at this from a standpoint as people decided that they wanted to make a movie, they were sick of just being the unsung heroes of the film industry and putting their body on the line all the time. You know, I think if you look at it from that perspective, you're like, I can't believe how well done this was for it not being like a major production.
I want to thank everyone involved. Thank you, Walker Whited, for making this film. All the cast and the studio, Tricos, and everybody. This is definitely worth your time. We've done a couple of these, and this was it's fair to say that I think this is definitely on the higher end of the spectrum of these type of movies that we've talked about on here. So By Night's End came out this year. Check it out. Amazon Prime, $2. Thank you again, Mr. Jason Alt. Where can everyone find you?
If you go to twitter.com and you type in @JasonEAlt, it will take you to my profile where I have a pinned tweet at the very top, and you can check out all the links to the other projects I work on around the internet.
But thank you for watching this. Thank you for thumbs upping the video and sharing it on social media. It is a free way to support the favorite content creators that you love. You can follow this on film_hooligans, or you can follow me @JohnTheHost, and we'll see you next time.